Greetings everybody, this is Emily from Pages Inc. and today I will be doing my very first Top 5 Wednesday video. Today is October 21st and the topic is Top 5 Authors that you have discovered in the past year. This year I have read a lot more than I did last year. Toward the end of last year, as it was progressing, I hadn't really read a whole bunch up until maybe August, and that's when I made my Goodreads and I think my book blog, and that's when it all kind of exploded. So ever since, I have been working toward my 100 books goal for the Goodreads 2015 challenge, and I've welcomed back some of my some of the authors that I've previously read, and then a ton of new authors. The authors that I'm going to pick for my top 5 today, I've only read one of their series, but they had enough of an impact on me that I was able to say these are the top 4, because I actually have 4, that I've read this year. There are 7 other authors that I have picked up and that I kind of enjoyed, but I don't know how many have actually stood out enough for me to put them on my list. They're all really great still, and I may actually tell you guys who they are at the end, but now I'm rambling, so I'm just gonna get to it. So the very first author that I discovered this year, it wasn't the first chronologically, but she's at the top of my top 5, and that is Susan E., who wrote the Penguin and the End of Days series. I read Angel Fall because I saw the cover and I was like, this is a beautiful cover. And then I read what it's the synopsis, the summary or whatever, and I was like, gotta have it, because I like not dystopian, but sci-fi, post-apocalyptic, dystopian-ish. I mean, it's not dystopian, it's post-apocalyptic, but I like those kinds of books. So I picked it up, I read it, I loved it. I had to get the other 2, and now she is on my list. And at the top, because her series is the first, not the first, but the only one of these 4 that I have read all the books for, that I loved them all, and that I genuinely just really enjoyed, and I have her signature. But you don't have to have a signature to go on my top list. Second, I have Victoria Aveyard with Red Queen, which is only one book, and I think this was her debut book. I actually have one of the novellas, I think, on my Nook that I haven't read yet, but this book, I actually have a book talk on this book, I have book talk on all these books, but anyway, I've only read this one, and it was so different, but at the same time similar to a lot of things that I've read, because it's like a fantasy dystopian kind of world. But it, lost my train of thought. It was so weird, because it was so unique, but it was also really familiar. And I think it worked well together. This is not what I've read before, but it feels like I've read something like it before. And I guess it worked well, because it was familiar. It was like coming home. Plus there's that plot twist at the end that if you read it, I think you'll know what I'm talking about. But the one that kind of kicks you really hard in the feels, and then you're just kind of like, oh, I didn't see that coming. It's not like a cry kind of feels, mind you. It's a I want to punch something kind of feel. Alright, third author is Kira Cass with the Selection series. I've only read these 3, but I'm excited for the Air. I am not usually one for the princessy, you know, bachelorette kind of, actually be the Bachelor kind of thing. But this was actually really good. Even though it says dystopian, it is kind of dystopian. There is some rebellion in it that a lot of people are like, they try to put rebellion in there to make it dystopian, and it's actually just like The Bachelor. But if you keep reading, it gets more intense. So, I mean, if you decided that you didn't like that because there was like so little of the rebellion and that's what you liked, go and finish the rest of it because it gets better. Then the last author that I have is Saba Tahir with An Ember in the Ashes, which at first I gave it a 4, and then like I had a chance to sit down, I was like, I want to read that again. It was actually very, very, very good, other than just very good. The maps are beautiful, and I really enjoyed her writing. I enjoyed her characters, and just kind of how dark the world is, and how interesting the different, like, I don't want to say race, but like the different peoples. Also the mask thing was really interesting. But I love all of these authors and how they portray the worlds that they have placed their characters into. And with certain characters I have issues with, like, I don't know, this redhead on the cover named America Singer. And a particular character in Red Queen that has to do with that whole angry, want to punch something feels. But, it's a good thing. It's good. I love all of them very much. And I can't wait to see where the authors go with their next series, or for Red Queen and An Ember in the Ashes, their sequel stories, or their next one in the trilogies or series, because I want to say Red Queen is actually going to be 6 books, but I could be wrong, don't take my word for it. Or actually, I think it's 4. I don't remember. I'm really bad at remembering that kind of thing until it gets closer to where it's going to finish. And I'm like, oh yeah! Like, there's going to be 6 Throne of Glass books, and I have 4 of them. So, looking forward to it. I will stop ranting, and I will tell you really quick my like other 7 authors, and maybe you can help me pick one. Or you can tell me about the authors that I talked about, and do you like them? Do you not like them? What don't you like? What do you like? You know, talk to me. I like talking to you guys. And yeah, so let's see. There's Chris, the 7 authors now. There's Chris Weitz, who wrote the Young World series. There is R.C. Lewis, who wrote Stitching Snow, which was really good. She was this close, I think, to making my list. But I have a habit of judging too quickly. Like, these are just fantastic. And Stitching Snow was too, but I don't know, there's something about it that I was like, this could go the wrong way in the next book. If I don't like it, then she'll be like Holly Black, one of the next one, who I've kind of had a hit of a and miss situation with, because I liked Coldest Girl in Cold Town, but I didn't like The Darkest Part of the Forest. And then there's also Corey McCarthy, who wrote Breaking Sky, which not a lot of people have read, and I actually recommend it because it's a good story if you like kind of futuristic. It's like set in the future, but it's not like, you know, incredibly high tech. It's just, I don't know how really to explain it, but it's really cool and it's really good. And it brings me back to when I wanted to be a pilot, if that tells you anything. I've had a lot of random things that I've wanted to be, but I can talk about that later. Then there's also Paige Mackenzie, who wrote The Haunting of Sunshine Girl and also has a YouTube channel called The Haunting of Sunshine Girl Network. There's more. Ernest Cline. There's a lot, like I said. So if you like any of those people, help me pick. If you don't care about them and you want to talk about the ones that I've already said, go ahead and do it, and I will now get out of your face because this video is much longer than it really should have been. So I will see you guys either in my next book talk, my October wrap-up, which actually I don't think will happen next, so my next book talk, or my next Top 5 Wednesday. See you guys!